Okay, hello, and good day to you. This is Critical Mess. It is episode 16. This is the podcast where some hombres in the ad business talk about movies that critics and audiences don't agree on. I am Nick Honeywell. I'm here with my buds Grizz Griswold and Brian McCullough. Producer Ben is here in the house. Say hello, gentlemen.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, this is Brian McCullough. And I think Alex Garland has never made a bad movie.
Hey, it's
Okay.
producer Ben.
Hello.
I don't think I've said hi on the podcast yet. So.
Yes, and we are so glad you are here with a microphone.
Coming
Ben.
out of a shell.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. Okay, we got an icebreaker tonight. We got a fun icebreaker tonight. And I think unless someone really wants to jump in here, I'll go first because this is not the maybe the easiest icebreaker, but I just want you to go with whatever comes to you. Okay, no wrong answers here. So here it is. So the aliens have landed. Okay, and you can only show them one movie. The movie that makes kind of either the best or the most profound statement on the human condition. What is the film that we're showing the aliens?
I got a good one. RoboCop.
Wow, you went dark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
you
great
did.
would that be? Come on.
Why?
I don't know. I think it would just be funny because it shows like the commercialized, side of our human race, and then also just the super dark side. But
So
I don't
basically,
know.
you're like, hey, aliens.
Then it
welcome
also
to
has
Earth.
like the
Humans fucking
family
suck.
side, and then I don't know. It would be a great. I don't know. It'd just be a hot take for me to say RoboCop there, but I think it would be hilarious.
You're really not selling us.
I'm not, but that's my pick, and
I liked
I'm
it, Grizz.
sticking with it.
Brian, you want me to go?
Go, Nick, because I'm battling between three in my head right now.
Okay, and that's okay. And why don't you just go ahead and give us a couple then? I think
Yeah.
I'm fine with that because I might give a couple that came to mind. So the weirdly the first one that came to mind, I don't know why. I thought like a PTA movie made a lot of sense. Maybe like There Will Be Blood. Feels like really kind of sums up where
We went dark?
We did go dark, but kind
Jeez,
of where
guys.
we're at as a society in a lot of ways. I feel like it kind of sums things up if we want to kind of just keep it real with those aliens. Totally different direction. Maybe we should show them Step Brothers, right? Let's just show them we're fun.
Talladega Nights. Yeah.
Yeah,
Something,
right. We're having a good time, and we can have a good time together in the galaxy, right? And the last thing I'll say about this is I think and I had time to think about this, so I cheated big time. But Charlie Kaufman movies in
absolutely.
general
Adaptation,
are
being John Malkovich. Oh,
yeah
Yes.
would be good. So yeah, Brian, what do you got?
First of all, I love this question. I'm oscillating between Crash and The Blind Side.
Ooh,
Just kidding.
I
was gonna say, like,
really
Manchester by the
excited.
Sea.
I just wanted to see what the looks were. Actually, Grizz, you're really on my wavelength tonight because I think for me, what summarizes the human condition and humanity is, I don't want to start getting all philosophical here, but this world kind of sucks and there's suffering and pain, right? But we're still living and we still persevere. Why? I don't know what it is about human resilience that does that. And so I look at a broken character. I look at broken characters who somehow arc into something beautiful. And so Manchester by the Sea would be one.
Yep.
And really Forrest Gump. I feel like you just look at this person who's just this like, I don't want to say innocent, but just a good person.
Yeah, an
living in this
unstoppable
fucked up
force of
world,
innocence, yeah.
dealing with all kinds of crap, and yet it does not kill them. So those are the type of movies I think I'd want an alien to see.
Yeah, good answers. No Matrix.
No, it's too dark.
Yeah,
I feel like the aliens would be like, oh, sweet, we can just enslave them.
yeah.
Too
we might. we might.
dark.
We might confuse them a little bit with the Matrix. But anyways, tonight we're going to talk about a movie here from this year, actually, which is I don't think we've done a completely contemporary film yet, have we? From this year, I don't think we have.
No.
No. Nope.
Yeah. So here's the first one. It's a animated movie. It's kind of a kids movie, sort of, but that's maybe a little bit debatable. Directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic. It is called The Super Mario Brothers Movie. And the voice acting here has a pretty stacked cast. We are starting with Chris Pratt. We've got Anya Taylor-Joy. We've got Charlie Day. We've got Jack Black. Keegan-Michael Key, very funny in this movie. Seth Rogen, Fred Armisen, and others. It's a good VO cast. Budget here, $100 million to make this movie.
That's really
which
surprising.
Yeah.
That seems low.
I was expecting that to be
Seems low.
twice, if not more.
Seems low. And wait for it here. Wait for it. Do you guys have any idea?
Oh, I know it made over $1 billion.
Yeah, it made over $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
You know, I didn't know
Yeah,
a whole
it was a
lot about
huge
this
hit.
movie.
I thought,
mean,
yeah.
my goodness, 1.36 billion.
Highest
So
grossing
far.
animated movie of all time, or is that still one of the Frozens?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's very close.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you may not know, but I know it's up there. It's on the
Yeah.
it's on the top 5, I think.
Anyways, that made me do a big, double take. So anyways, but it actually makes a lot of sense because it's such a gigantic IP, right? And it also is, well, we'll get into what kind of movie it is, but I thought it was a decent one. So anyways, a super quick refresher about our criteria for the movies we talk about. So the movie's got to be fresh with audiences or rotten with critics or vice versa. And the disparity needs to be 20% or so. So this film, barely hanging on to the rotten here. We're at 59% rotten with critics. And a monstrous, just an incredibly impressive 95% with audiences. So huge. So wow, people really like this movie. Anyway, so
Let's real quick hit on the out of 10 as well.
Oh, sure, yes, please.
That if memory serves, I think it's like 5.8 and 9.4. But let me just take a real quick look. Yeah, critics 5.8 out of 10. So that's pretty close to the 59%.
Yeah.
And then what's 4.7 times 2? 9.4. So yeah, very very close out of 10s too. Very very true to the percentages. So 9.4 out of 10, which is super high.
Yeah,
For
huge.
like 95%, you see a lot more 95% than 9.4 out of 10s.
Yeah.
So that is like, I mean, universally loved.
And that's a pretty big disparity, too. I
Yeah,
mean,
very
despite
much.
it being almost fresh. Okay, so let's get into this. First time you guys saw this movie, when was it, and how many times have you seen it?
1993. Oh wait, sorry, that was the
In a
Bob
crusty
Hoskins
old
live
movie theater
action.
with my parents. No.
Oh, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I've seen it one time, 2 nights ago. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I watched it twice, and this is a little bit of a spoiler for what I thought about it. I watched it the first time, and then I got so bored that I forgot to keep watching it, and so I watched it again, back to back.
Nice.
So twice.
Twice. Yeah, okay.
No. It had nothing to do with that. Actually, I did not watch it at night. I watched it in the afternoon, so there was no anything affecting it.
As Brian's wife pinched her fingers and put them close to her.
Yes, she did.
Yes. Yes. First time I saw it was actually with my children at IMAX downtown. So probably I think it was opening weekend. So I was pretty excited about this movie, and I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, and I saw it last night for the first time. So this should be good, fresh takes here. Okay, so tonight we are sponsored by Woodinville. Once again, we love Woodinville. Just a refresher on Woodinville, it's 90 proof. Bitch.
Wouldn't you like a Woodenville?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Inville.
Anyway,
No comment. You
Woodinville,
guys,
call us. Okay, so guys, let's rate this movie. What did we think?
Brian, go ahead.
I'll go first. Grizz, you literally said my rating before we started recording.
Did it really?
32 out of 100 is my rating for this
On the
movie.
dot?
On the dot.
I love it.
Wow.
Real quick, I was telling producer Ben before recording, I immediately when I was done watching it for the second time, I thought, oh, that was good. And I think I wrote down like a 55 or something. And then as like 20, 30 minutes went by, I kept thinking back to it. And I'm thinking, what was that? There's nothing there. There was nothing there is just the best way I can put it. And after about an hour, my rating had dropped to a 32 and it sits there. So,
Was it any higher than that? You said it dropped too.
well, my
start high
my
and just kinda
cursory
break down?
reaction, like, before actually processing it, was like maybe a 50 something. But then when
Okay.
I thought back to, you have to
Yeah.
marinate
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
movie
yeah.
a little
Yep.
bit. So yeah, 32.
Yeah, that's tough. I sit right at a 61, so just over the critic score. I really had a lot of fun with this, and I rated it high immediately after watching it. The kids had a lot of fun with it, but 61 felt really perfectly adequate for this film. I mean, it's very enjoyable. I thought it was funny. There were a couple characters that were really great, but
the scene that's on the TV right now as we sit here, if the whole movie would have stayed in this realm, I would have been on board for sure.
Oh,
This is
like-
the
like-
scene where they
yeah.
go underground and there's the pipes and it starts reminding me of Portal 2. And I was like, wow, this movie's going to be awesome. But then obviously it goes.
As they walk into this too, the fun little reference is as they're walking down the steps, there's a sign that says level 1-2. Did you
Oh,
get?
cool.
It was
Wow,
so
that's
good. The references, it's if you watch this over and over and over again. I mean, I've watched it a couple times with the kids outside of this, in the background while they're watching it. But you look over and there's just a new reference every time you look.
Oh,
at
there's
it.
references in this?
No, there's way too many. But
I didn't-
It
didn't
is.
notice
I
that.
find that enjoyable. It's fun, but it doesn't make it a great movie. I mean, that's the hard part about it. And so,
Nick?
Yeah, well, we're gonna have some fun tonight because I'm giving it an 82.
Oh, my goodness. We're 50 points apart.
50 points apart. Let's get
That's
into
tough.
this. Let's get into this.
Oh,
This
I'm
is-
ready.
This is. I just want to remind everybody. It is critical mess, and it's a big mess tonight.
Big
'cause we-
mess.
We've got a big gap. And we are talking about the Mario Brothers movie, the Super Mario Brothers movie, from this year, which is 2023. So, okay, we're gonna debate a little bit, but before we do, let's talk a little bit about why critics and audiences do not agree on this movie. I know we have some reviews to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we'll start with the critics' consensus here. And again, critics didn't hate this movie. They were very middling on it. They say, while it's nowhere near as thrilling as turtle tipping your way to 128 lives, which, do we get that reference? Anybody?
Yeah, I
World
vaguely,
3 and 3, going up the steps, third
yeah,
step up.
Yes, it's
like a
ringing a
cheap-
bell. Yes.
nada.
The Super Mario Bros. Movie is a colorful, albeit thinly plotted, animated adventure that has about as many Nintendo's as Nintendon'ts.
No.
So
Wow.
that's bad. But just to read a couple here, Dylan Roth of The Observer, it is the laziest possible version of a Mario movie. And for most viewers, young and old, that'll be totally acceptable. Windy-eyed Observer UK, a frantic Easter egg hunt of a film that does the bare minimum to please its loyal existing fan base. So we've got some fan base nodding there, some sort of fan service, sort of nostalgic tones coming through here. Claudia Puig, Film Week. What it seems to have forgotten is creating an engaging story. It's bland, uninteresting, and cobbled together. I'll read one more and then I'll take a breather. Kevin Maher, Times UK. It's emotionally bland and yet garish enough to psychologically sedate the preteen Easter audience. So we've got a couple, I mean, those are lambasting it, quite a bit. They're talking about it being absurd, thinly plotted, not a lot of story, fan service. What are you guys thinking about those? Are you thinking those are unfair? Are you jiving with those and agreeing but still saying it's good? Like, what are your kind of initial thoughts on those?
I actually have to reiterate my score as I said 61, and I have written down 71 as my official score on my. So that was really on me for not realizing what a number is and reading it aloud.
So you couldn't remember your own
I legit
score.
couldn't remember my own score.
he read
I
it
actually
off of
wrote
the phone.
I read it off my phone and still said 61.
Still said it.
So 71. I don't think it's a 90 something or whatever. But
We just lost 7 subscribers.
yeah, we did. Or we gained 7.
Or we gained 7.
Yeah, one of the two. But still, it doesn't change the overall vibe of what I already said.
I would say
That
71
much.
is favorable.
I don't disagree with a ton of that stuff, honestly.
But your
But this
32 is atrocious in my eyes.
Oh, yeah, and I
this-
backed that up.
I can't wait.
This is one of those movies that I feel like we've talked about this a little bit before, but I feel like it accomplishes exactly what it sets out to accomplish, and it does it in a pretty smart way, in my opinion. I do, though, agree with a lot. I mean, if I were to pick the movie apart, I would be saying a lot of the type of things you just said, for sure. But I will also say a lot of my high score for this film comes from the fact that I just love gaming so much in Mario, and that's always been such a big part of my life. And I know you guys are into, have been into gaming too. But I guess it just felt so good to get a video game movie that was like actually felt like a competent film that I like enjoyed and had fun with, and I got so many of the references, and I just loved it. I really did.
Absolutely.
Do you agree with James Berardinelli from Real Views? I found myself wanting more, as if I was only getting part of the experience. But the Super Mario Bros. Movie is not intended to work in the same way that conventional films do. It's not about cinematic enjoyment, it's about expanding a brand. Is that fair or unfair?
It depends on how far they're going to expand this brand.
Because you said it does what it sets out to do. Do you think that's what it sets out to do?
I I guess what I saw it setting out to do was just being, a good video game movie. And I think it did that. And that's been such an elusive thing for so long. And I think that's just a big part of it.
I mean,
for
it's
me.
been in the zeitgeist for decades now that they cannot make a good video game movie. The Last of Us being maybe an exception with the recent show that felt
Yeah,
good.
but it's not a movie, though.
But it's not a movie.
There are two good video game movies. They both came out this decade, and we'll get into that in Brian's Corner.
nice.
But Odie Henderson in the Boston Globe says, this isn't a movie, it's a checklist of fan expectations. That is I 100% agree with that review, and that is one of the reasons why my rating's so low.
And I think it does that, but it has so much fun doing it
Yeah,
at the
I
same
don't-
time. And it does much more than that, too, I think, than that checklist. I think it does it in just an exciting and
I think
smart way.
It's very like it's not in your face like some recent comic book movies that they like stop the frame and people look at camera and they make the joke that everybody's waiting for. I feel like a lot of those jokes just happen within a scene, like we're watching now with Luigi in this, what is it, like the Dark Realm or whatever you want to call it, and he's like running around and it's like Luigi's castle or a mansion.
Luigi's Haunted Mansion. Yeah.
So
I
think,
could have told you before this movie started that, I bet you in this movie, Luigi's going to go into a haunted mansion. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
you could not have predicted that
Yes,
and
because
expected
that's
it. I
Luigi's
mean, that
shtick.
seems so out there for any super fan even to like.
No,
just
but that's
expect
what he
that to come
does.
up.
That's that. If you're familiar with the Mario franchise, like that's Luigi's thing is Luigi's Haunted Mansion. That's his main game.
Are there a bunch of reviews of people saying, "Oh, I expected there to be a Luigi Mansion reference in this"? Though
Maybe.
that's what I'm saying.
Lastly, Christy Puchico.
Just change the
Puchko.
subject with a review.
Oh, I'm not changing subject. Okay. Well, let's stick on that. What about that is incorrect to you?
Oh, I just don't think it's as widespread as you may think. I think you're 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Or
Name
1 out of
one
20.
thing about Luigi that makes him unique besides he's green.
Makes him unique.
Yeah, what is his character? If you're going to put him in a movie, you're attaching characters to all of the things that, like Bowser, he's got the fire and all that, and Donkey Kong's bananas.
What attributes would you give him based on the breadth of the catalog of
The catalog of what? Just video games of
games
Mario
with
being the
Luigi-
primary character, and
with
usually it's
Luigi
a
in
one
it.
person that
Well,
plays it, and then the brother
he's
comes
taller. He's a sidekick. He's weak.
Grizz, have you ever heard of the game Luigi's Haunted Mansion?
in. Yes. I've heard the
you
third
haven't.
take is very
All
good.
right.
I don't know. That's all I've
Christy Puchko. In
Guys,
the end,
I remember
this is the
vaguely
last.
playing it 20 years ago.
This is the last one I'll read. It wasn't out 20 years ago. In the end, it feels like one long commercial. Sure, I walked away wanting to revisit my old Mario games. I agree. But I also walked away with no wish to ever hit play on the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And my summary, I think, reading all those critic reviews, is it's a colorful kids movie full of fan service that doesn't actually have any substance beneath the shiny veneer.
Who's this movie for?
It is for fans.
Is it for fans before kids?
Yes.
I think it's for kids and families, primarily because I went and saw it with my kids. And as a nostalgic dad, I can watch it, enjoy it, have fun with it. Though it is a basic plot and why I rated it a 71, not a 95, like, most people. But I think it is incredibly enjoyable. I think it's still rewatchable with all the funny references.
And I'll say this about the movie.
As a fan, I think it's very
And I've got good
rewatchable.
things to say about it and flip the script, but the one thing I'll say right now, because I know I'm shitting on this movie, like I said, I did enjoy
As you should,
it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed watching the movie. I wasn't watching it going, oh, I can't wait for this to be over. I was actually kind of sad when it was over because it was fun, right?
Yeah.
And I think the craft of the movie is very good. I think it's well shot, well animated. The art direction's great. And as a huge Mario fan, and I wanted to get into that, Nick, I wanted to sort of go around table and say what our sort of relationship with the Mario franchise is, sort of kind of how we did with Star Wars. All of that was great, but I had to come back to wait a minute. What is a movie? What makes a good movie? And the answers to that question are what resulted in the 32.
I think
for me.
it is very hard because you're basing it off of a very simple, two-dimensional, mostly video game over the last 40 years. And these characters don't have a lot of. They're two brothers. Usually it's a single person playing a video game as Mario. And then maybe, as in my case, I had an older brother. He played Mario. I always got Luigi. So it's just one of those things where I love Luigi because I was Luigi the whole time. And it's just one of those things where it's not complex. It's not like you have this Ben mentioned it, like you have this catalog of history, but it's not. It's not like those games didn't have cinematic like Halo, attributes.
But I feel like they do now.
They do now, but
Luigi's Mansion definitely has
Luigi's Mansion, but I don't think
lot
it
of
was until
character to
Luigi's
it.
Mansion 2 or 3 where people started really talking about it in the last, 10, 15 years maybe? I don't know how long ago Luigi's Mansion came out.
But it also developed Luigi's character and made him more like a person.
Absolutely.
You know, it gave
we'll-
him attributes.
Yeah, we'll get into that too. But like, I think one of the interesting things about Luigi is like the whole movie got flipped because usually it's Luigi or Mario, and then Luigi as a sidekick go and save the princess from the castle, and they flipped the princess with Luigi. I thought that was a pretty big risk and interesting take for a recent film. But I don't know if you guys, obviously, hopefully you guys noticed that. But
I wish they would have made this movie based on just one of the games. I think they shot themselves in the foot by going,
Yeah,
we
I
have
mean-
the entire 40 years of Mario lore, and we're gonna literally reference every game, including the Mario Karts, in 1 hour-and-a-half movie. And I think you almost have too much reference and you get lost.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I would rather them like base it just off like the first Mario game, and then they can like extrapolate like all of because there's not a lot of content in that game, so then they're free
No,
to
yeah.
sort of write a unique and fun story instead of the whole thing just having to take place in the existing franchise. So I think they were hamstrung by the lore there. You look at a movie like the Lego Movie. And the Lego movies are amazing to me because they didn't. It's just they had Legos, so they just let's just we'll do Batman. We'll create this Unikitty character, and they'll do all these things. And I think that the creativity that's a masterclass in how you take a brand and you can still sell it, but being creative. And I think this is an example of being creatively bankrupt. So.
yeah, that is one difficult thing. I mean, Nintendo is a holder of, they own, obviously, and they produce a shit ton of games every year. So the hard part is they've been very secretive in pushing it to a film, obviously, because when was the last time they did a Nintendo-based game movie? Probably 30 years ago when the 92 or 93 film came out. I don't know when.
I'm not sure when the last Nintendo movie was. But
Yeah,
yes, it's been a
so I
while.
think they hold on to that IP desperately to not just throw anything and everything out there. So I think this was their chance to try to, obviously, one, grab audiences. And I think that's what they did. I think that's like our last conversation about building something or building a franchise on expectation and also world building to grab at $1. I mean, I'm sure they sold a shit ton of toys. I've seen a lot of them lately, but
I also just say quickly, I think I disagree a little bit with you, Brian, on the idea that I think this movie is actually made for kids first instead of gamers.
absolutely.
In my opinion, and that adds to why I think it's so good, because I think it's just it's really just intelligent in the way that it appeals to kids in kind of these sort of visceral ways. And I think one of the ways it does it is just this movie has a lot of like really good kind of candid, just little emotion moments where people will like do a little, I don't know, it's hard to I actually have a couple examples. There's one real particular one I want to get into. It's a very subtle thing that Bowser, what's his name in this? King Koopa, whatever.
Bowser, yeah.
kind of does. And it's just like these, I just felt like it was just, I don't know. It told a story in a way that was very, very simple and easy to understand. And it kept it entertaining for, I could see, especially little kids. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about, Brian, you wanted to bring up some user reviews, I believe, and
We might as well,
Yes.
since we've kind of explored the critics.
Yes.
You guys, I read through these user reviews and I start to just lose faith
Call
in
'em out.
humanity. Like that, the aliens need to come down, and we shouldn't even be able to show them a movie. They should just wipe us out. Okay. And these are not. I didn't like scour like hundreds and find like the 20. These are like the 20 most recent
Top 20,
verified
yeah.
user reviews, and these are verified. These are people who
Yeah.
had to verify that they went and saw the movie. Zing. Here's his. These are verbatim on the internet, publicly available. Did you want to crack your beer, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go for it.
Yeah, do it.
Perfect.
wait, hang on. What
one
are
of
we
the-
sponsored by
one of
over
the
here
sponsors.
tonight? Guinness Drought or Draft, or I don't know how. Did you say it draft? I'd
Draft.
say.
It's
Well, I know
draft.
you say it draft, but
It's spelled drought. Draw.
it's spelled drought, and I sound like a fucking idiot right now. I knew that actually, but I thought because they were European,
He's
right?
one Guinness
You know
in.
how they pronounce words differently?
I'm leaving
Sure,
all
Nick.
this in.
This is all staying.
You're
in.
losing all credibility.
This is all staying in.
I do. I literally know that draft is spelled that way. I want to assure everyone of that.
Just so the audience
Just
knows,
so I don't
Nick,
lose my job.
Nick knows more vocabulary words than the rest of the three of us combined. So
Thank you for saving me there, Brian.
we're making fun of him, but he could out talk us any day of the week. Zing. Ready? Here's what he says. Great. Period. My kids love the movies. Fun and entertainments. 5 out of 5. My thought there is, but did you like the movie? He's giving it a 5 out of 5 based on his kids liked it. Okay, so already we have a broken review. You're supposed to say whether or not you liked the movie. So that's kind of 101 movie rating.
I don't know. He can speak for his kids, I guess, right? They don't have an account.
He needs to rate the movie. I want to know what he thought about it. My kids like some stupid shit that I would not rate a 5 out of 5 just because they liked it. So that's my point there. LaShonda L. It was really good movie for the whole family to enjoy. 5 out of 5. My thought there was 11 words and 3 grammatical errors. Why did you feel the need to put this on the internet?
Can you reply to these?
No. Michaela, my kiddos really enjoyed the movie. 5 out of 5. Once again, if the audience metric is how much did your kids like the movie, that explains the 95% score.
Should there be
But I
another
think it goes
section?
back to at least a lot of my reason for liking the movie is because it accomplishes what it set out to do, which is to appeal to kids. And these people agree with that. Now, I understand that they're not giving their review and why that would be frustrating. But once again, we're affirming, though, that the movie is very effective at what I think is its main goal, which is a very smart goal because kids bring the most money or because they bring the most people into the theater because they bring their parents and their siblings. And, it's kind of the ultimate demo for, theaters.
I just think a movie should set out to be a good movie. I don't know. Call me simple, but
I think this movie was simple. I think it was very enjoyable. Is it a good movie like a Schindler's List or a Shawshank? Like, it's not on that caliber of
it's not
film art.
It's
but
not
it's
trying
like,
to be that kind of movie.
I don't think it's trying to be that.
Look
at
at the
all. I
Lego
think
movie.
that's-
Again, I say look at what Phil Lord and Chris Miller do with the Lego movies. Those movies are so original. Look at the Across the Spider-Verse movies. I mean, there are animated movies for families and kids that are ridiculously good. Look at the Pixar movies up until maybe recently. Look at the Toy Story movies. You can get really deep and profound with quote-unquote kids animated movies. And Illumination Studios does not do that. They put, in my opinion, put out Secret Life of Pets, Sing, Despicable Me. I like the Despicable Me movies. They're funny, but this isn't nearly as funny as those. I don't like this studio. I think that's part of it is Illumination to me. Maybe I'm biased against them, but
Yeah, that is tough. I think Illumination does not hit anywhere near Pixar in any way, shape, or form, especially early Pixar.
They're very-
But I think
they're-
Pixar began to age out of their demographic, which was family and kids, and they started to attain to us as adults that like Toy Story and all those movies from the 90s and early 2000s. Which is a downside to what they did because a lot of those movies got dark. I mean, Toy Story 3 is brutally dark when you start looking at it and watching it, especially as a kid.
I think that shows that kids can handle that stuff. How about Ajit? Ajit. Ready? What is so shocking about what I just said?
That's just funny.
Yeah.
The kids can handle.
Yeah. They
Kids can handle it now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a dark world.
Here we go. Let's see what Ajit thinks. I saw in 4DX, in parentheses, Regal, the chair vibration is bit too much. Sometimes. And the other effects aren't enough. 4 out of fucking 5.
Should I
He
feel
only
him,
had
though?
negative comments, and he gave it a 4 out of 5. That's why this has a 95%.
I feel him, though. My chair vibration is way too much.
Somebody kicked the back of my seat once, just very quickly, and it would just ruin the whole 40. No.
Maybe Trisha can save us. Loved the quality, sound the music. The cesting was very comfy, as the reserved seating very smooth transaction. The food line busy to be expected, but 3 of us, meaning different guests, my being one of the 3, waited over 30 minutes for our pretzels due to them given to others in line that didn't order them. 5 out of 5.
Is that Tennyson?
Wow. That's bad.
And my note on that is these are verified reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yikes. That's rough. Hey, should we move away from Rotten Tomatoes anytime soon?
I've
This
got a
is
couple
bad.
more. Anonymous but verified says, I got tickets to the wrong movie. We got there, and he had already seen the movie. I wasted my money. 3 out of 5.
Oh, my God.
Anonymous but verified would be a good band name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My thought on
nice.
that one was, why do we even pay attention to the audience scores again? How about Alex Pera? Surely. Shirley, Alex Pear. That sounds like a name of somebody who knows what they're doing. You know,
Or
it's
an
a real
actual
name.
real person.
Yeah. Not much of a story, and the film rushes through the plot. But who cares? Because this movie is still awesome and fun. Come to a Mario movie to see iconic Mario characters, and I did. Loved it. 4.5 out of 5. My thought there is, would you ever describe a movie as not much of a story and then give it a 9 out of 10? People don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
They're just callously hitting those stars.
Yeah. That's my worry about Letterboxd becoming a
We need to,
thing.
Brian, your beer's pretty full, dude. Let's
I
couple
need to
drinks.
cut it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Get
I
you
thought
relaxed.
reading these would make me laugh and relax me, but they're like winding me
They're
up.
making you more
Let's
mad.
see how wound up I can get. 2 more. Jack, honestly, I loved the entire movie. I did not expect it to be this amazing. It was like a flash of my childhood into adulthood with Mario and the others. Little hints, Easter eggs, and jokes I caught that others did not. I loved it all. 5 out of 5. Okay, that's
fair.
well written. And my thought there was, it would appear the audience is indeed appeased by mere fan service and nostalgia. So that's kind of getting back more seriously about kind of what we were talking about. And the last one sums it up perfectly. Raven, awesome and funny. A must-see for every Super Mario fan. If you're not a movie critic, I mean. 5 out of 5. And that is damning to the entire internet because we have it right there in writing. She's basically saying that you shouldn't critique a movie. Like, just give it 5 out of 5, but don't critique it. So that's my problem with the audience reviews. You should be rating the movie based on how good of a movie it is, i.e. critique. What do you guys think about that?
I think someone deserves an angry letter about this, and we need to find the right person.
Yeah, and help Brian find that P.O. box.
Brian's like, old man yells at internet.
Yeah.
At the cloud.
Yes.
I do really have that question though. Doesn't the concept of a rating necessitate critique? And maybe that's something we put on the shelf because I know we've hit on that before. And I don't think there's necessarily a right answer to that. I think it's more of an opinion.
I think you got to just kind of go back to what's this movie trying to accomplish, and I think you're taking the art of the review very seriously, which I respect.
Mm-hmm.
But for a movie like this, you're just not. You're not going to get like, you know what? I'm going to get on there and write just an articulate thesis about why this is such
That would be a breath of fresh
absolutely
air.
a prodigious film.
Here comes Nick's corner.
Yeah,
Just a long monologue.
I mean,
of,
not much of a story. 9 out of 10. You can do better, Nick.
yeah. Maybe I'll get to work
pretzels
on
were
that.
late. Yeah. I think you went to the Rotten Tomatoes review, not the AMC theater review.
Yeah,
like,
I know,
what are you
right?
doing?
So, all right. So
God.
this is a very big critical mess tonight. There's no doubt about that. We are sponsored by Guinness Drought and also
Draft.
Woodinville. You know the rest.
90 proof. Bitch.
Yeah, we're gonna Woodinville, get at us. Okay, so guys, we got to flip the script here. Which thank God it's time for this. Yeah. So Brian, say some things nice about the movie, please, quickly.
I got 4 nice things to say about this movie.
4?
Holy
shit.
I think I mentioned
Jeez.
one before. The inciting incident in Act 1, the underground pipes, had Portal 2 vibes. Really awesome animation, really cool inciting event. I'm thinking, all right, here we go. This water main's broken. You know, these kind of nobody plumbers are going to be able to do this thing, and that was cool.
You thought they were just going to fix the plumbing issue and go home?
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but it was just a cool scene. I really like that scene.
I had to say, I mean, animation nowadays has just surpassed anything I ever expected it to become. I mean, you watch this and it looks beautiful. I mean,
It
it's up
is.
there with Pixar.
You know what was insanely beautiful, I thought, was the water in the water.
Yeah.
It's like, why did that look so glorious?
Yeah,
Like, I just
mine
wanted to
is just
jump
the-
right in that water or whatever it was. I
Yeah,
don't know.
mine's just the texture on their skins and like the different, like the shells, all that stuff. It just looked incredible. So, sorry, go ahead, Brian.
So and then that goes to one of the other things I loved specifically was when they got the star power at the end and they sort of did the color shift mechanic.
Yeah,
I'm not
the
sure how they
Rainbow
did that.
Road kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
was cool.
I thought that was really cool. That was like very effective, and I wanted that star power. It's just I was like, yes, that's how you do star power. Another one, the original music reorchestrations, really good. I mean, this movie it had almost every. I mean, it had Mario 1, Mario 3, Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart, Mario 64. I'm not sure if it had any Mario 2. and I don't know if it had Mario All Stars, but it had
Yoshi
it
and all
had
that stuff
almost
referenced.
every Mario theme, but beautifully orchestrated into the original soundtrack as well. It was very seamless and really well
The
done.
soundtrack
And-
was great.
See,
The
I-
original soundtrack was great. The 80s reference of songs and all that stuff, I thought was fun, but maybe not needed.
Actually, I agree. The pop songs too, like "I Need a Hero" and "Thunderstruck" and all those things
Yeah.
that were really good. So all the music was great.
So I'm just a little surprised they didn't raise your score a little more, just because the music is such a. And you are someone who pays attention to
Yeah.
music in movies, and to me as well. I mean, we might talk a little bit about it more when we slow burn it down. But I think the music here was exceptional.
Well, maybe that's why it wasn't a 22. I don't know. And I think that, and I agree with you. And I'm a huge music guy. I love soundtracks. But for me, if I had to list like the 5 most important things about a movie, soundtrack would not be part of that 5. It would maybe be like 7th or 8th.
Sure.
There are other more important things about storytelling besides what I consider to be sort of a superficial component.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Interstellar is the greatest soundtrack to actual theme and the use and the power of it. But I think in this case, it is strictly to grab your attention and grab it at nostalgia, and then in a moment, I think they used it well enough. Like Nick was saying, like it was done well, and then you have the explosion into a certain scene or a certain action of a character that has all those big ballad 80s songs would come in. So
But then the other half of me goes, well, they've already got all the music for all these games, so it's kind of on the nose that they're just going to, oh, guess what? They're playing all the Mario music in this movie. So part of me likes how it was done, but the other half of me is like, well, it wasn't very original. It's like, oh, sure, they're going to do that. They've already got the music written by the amazing Koji Kondo. Who's the guy? Who's the Nintendo guy? I don't remember who it is.
I think that's it.
And the last one I'll say is really great world building, actually. I felt like I wanted to go and immediately play the Mario games. It was very cohesive and connected to the Mario world, and I liked kind of seeing the different lands and the characters and things. So that's my flip the script.
Okay. I can go here. So, one thing, and I will acknowledge this is a fairly big problem with this movie. So one thing I would say is a fairly big problem with this movie, and maybe should bring it down a little bit more, but I just was endeared with it, so I couldn't help myself. But the story, yeah, it was not great. I mean, and that's a problem for a movie. I get that. It was good for kids, once again, so that saves a lot of it for me. For me, obviously, it wasn't super interesting or compelling. Didn't take any big risks or twists or turns. But those are my expectations going in. So I absolutely did not expect it to do any of that. So if it did, that would have been just that super little bit of extra icing. And another thing, this is maybe, I'm interested if you guys have any issue with this at all, but there were I understand these are fairly flat, as you said, Grizz, earlier. These are 2D characters, right? They're generally speaking in the history of the franchise, 3D as well, but and they don't have. There's not a lot of dialogue in these games. We don't know these characters very well, like who they are. I mean, we know good guy, bad guy, whatever. But so they had to develop these characters. I get that, but some of the things they chose to do, the way they chose to develop some of these characters, actually, I thought took risks. Was one of the only ways this movie took risks, and I didn't like it, which is kind of weird.
Which
It doesn't make
specific
so
characters?
I'll give a couple. So one would be just Mario himself.
Agreed.
Mario was, Mario doesn't ever fuck up. You don't talk shit to Mario, right? Mario's the man.
I think they messed up with Mario.
Yeah, he was too vulnerable.
Yep.
In this movie. He is a boss among bosses, a wolf among littler wolves or something. I don't know. You just don't fuck with Mario. You don't talk shit to Mario like that Spike guy in the beginning. You don't say that shit to Mario. Mario will fuck you up, bro. Like that. That wasn't my Mario. So
And you know what else you don't do? You don't have this awesome obstacle course come out that Mario literally takes an entire day to try to master and never masters, and then you have Princess Peach go, "Oh, I mastered it on the first try."
sure.
Sorry. That's
yeah,
I
there were
don't buy
some
that.
weird flipping the script kind of options on the character choices with Luigi, Mario, and Princess, all the 3 main characters. Mario especially, I would agree with that. That's
And I know we're flipping the script right now, and I want to let you finish, but I also wanted to, just since we're talking about Mario right now, I really had questions about how they developed his character, and I want to know what's good about him. Like Mario is the titular character of the franchise. He didn't seem to have any like amazing traits. Here's how Mario like won in this movie. He went around and found power-ups that made him amazing. Anyone can do
just
that.
like the game.
I think they made him weak and timid, and then made him a hero at the end. I think that was just their whole point, was to make him a weak, timid person, and then make him a hero at the end.
No,
I think that was the arc.
I don't know if you
will.
noticed this, but they tried to give him a nuance. They tried to make his thing be that he always gets back up again. Do you remember when they put words to that? Princess said, "See, that's the thing with you, though. You always get back up again," because they knew they had to give something special to Mario. But you can't just say that. Like, everyone got back up again. Donkey Kong got back up again. Everyone in this movie got back
didn't
up
you
again.
say you don't know when to quit? Isn't that what it was?
Something like that, maybe. Yeah.
I wanted a little
I think
bit
they
more.
could have developed that more.
I think it's funny because he's confident without being cocky, but I think he could have used a little bit more cockiness as Mario, the titular character. I think the hard part was they did the switch of Luigi disappearing into the world and then Princess Peach becoming that Luigi character essentially from the games. I think that's what they kind of missed with having the pure contrast of Mario is the big hero, Luigi is the little brother that kind of comes along the ride. That would have been fun to watch Luigi kind of help and, be like, oh, I could help you along the way. And like Mario's cocky enough and he misses or he has mistakes or something like that. That would have been nice.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay, anyway, back to you, Nick.
I'll give you another one. So, what is his name? What's King Koopa's name in this movie?
I think it's
forget.
Bowser.
Is it
Bowser,
Bowser?
yeah.
I thought that maybe it was a different name. Okay, Bowser, whatever. So I just thought how he was like really insecure and like weirdly obsessed
I have
with
major problems with Bowser.
the princess. Like, that was just odd, and it did lead to some nice comic relief, which saved it for me for sure. But yeah, I didn't like that. I mean, once again, these are archetypal characters, and let's just I think we can leave it that way and still make a good, fun movie. Like, Bowser's just the boss. He's conniving badass, and he's wanting to destroy the world. He's that fine. Just we don't have to make him like this, like kind of like this sort of wuss, sort of like just little. He's kind of an incel, right?
Yeah, he is. So real quick, why is Bowser evil? Like, everyone else gets a backstory, but no backstory for Bowser. He's just evil.
purely evil from the start. It was the opening scene where he's barging through with the ice.
Which
the
was a very
penguin.
jarring prologue that seemed to not fit with the rest of the movie, also. But yeah,
Yeah.
why was he evil? Like, tell me. Like, I don't know. Give me if we're doing backstories, give me something. That's a small gripe. But another one is like, what was his power? What was his power? Like, and why did he lose it at the end? He's like this all powerful guy, and then like at the end, yeah, they force the blue mushroom and he shrinks. But before that, it's like he's lost his power. They didn't explain any of that.
They did the superstar. They gave the Mario Brothers the power to kick his ass and shove the blue mushroom down his throat.
So what happened? Did they just beat him up, I guess?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
Jumped
It
on him a
didn't
bunch
seem
of
like they
times.
beat him up, but
That's one thing I really liked was I usually at the end of movies, especially like superhero movies, I cannot fucking stand the 35 minutes it takes for the superheroes to beat up the fucking bad guys and throwing all the rocks and the things exploding and missiles shooting around. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm just done with this. Like that like scene in this movie was like 90 seconds.
Yeah, it was
like
very quick. It was great.
just like, everyone gets their ass kicked. Game over. It was. I was like, thank you. That was, and it was kind of fun too. Like, they picked like really exciting little things to do for that, just whatever that 90 seconds, and that was just. That was just a breath of fresh air for me.
I would have done something with the 1-up, with the lore. Like, the 1-up would have been like the ultimate item above even the star. Because to me, in the game, a 1-up is like the most important thing you can get. So
Or
Or
extra,
the
yeah.
green mushroom.
green mushroom.
That's the 1-up mushroom.
The
right?
1-up.
Yeah. Sorry,
the extra
yes,
life,
yes,
if you will.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking you said turtle shell in my head. I'm like, that's the worst Mario Kart turtle shell. No. Yes, green mushroom. To me, I kept waiting for like the ultimate. Like they seek and find this 1-up, and it's like, I don't know.
That's a very good point. I didn't see a 1-up in there, and they should have had it.
And I didn't fault the movie for that.
He could have. That would have been actually really good. Mario could have been like, he loses the big Mario power, and then he gets hit again, and he gets knocked down,
Yeah.
and the 1-up saves him. That seems like an easy.
Or somebody
that was
gives
a
it to him at
softball
the
right
beginning
there.
of the movie and he forgets, and it's in his bag or something. I don't know, something.
Yeah, softball. They should have had that.
To him or
Yeah.
something.
I just think Bowser should have like busted through bricks and fall into a void or something like that. Like, just beating him up. That doesn't follow how the game works. I saw them twirl him and throw him like the end of Mario 64, which that was an interesting callback. But he didn't land on a bomb and explode like Mario. He just kind of fell back down. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't explained to me how he just all of a sudden was defeated. So anyway, we don't need to belabor that. So I see that are you?
Yeah, no,
done
I was going
flipping
to
the
toss
script,
over
or-
to Grizz, see if he had any script flipping.
Flipping. I think. I mean, it's 90 minutes. I think one of the biggest things for me was it is a lot in 90 minutes. I mean, they throw a lot of eye candy and a lot of just visuals at you. They could have simplified it even more. I think that would have done a lot more service to focusing in on very specific characters rather than just jamming in more characters. That's my biggest one. And then another was simply Mario. I think I could have used a lot more time in the quote unquote real world. And like what you were saying, like once they hit that plumber, like underneath world of New York City or wherever, I think that's where I was like, oh, I could have used more than just 15 minutes or 20 minutes. I don't know what the timestamp was, but it was definitely 20 minutes or less of just
Can I
the
just
real
quickly say,
world.
I disagree with both of you on that. I really, when we started this movie in the real world, I was like, can we get the fuck out of here? I was like, where's the Mushroom Kingdom? Get me there now.
I mean, it was aw- I mean, I love the world building. I mean, I have to say, but I just wanted a little bit more of just that world of them being real humans, and then they get thrust into this wild, insane, colorful, bright. They could have desaturated the main world and then blown themselves into. That would have been more
That could have
interesting.
been cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Then it would have a huge contrast. I think that was what they did with when they got their first plumbing job and they go to the apartment, like that rich person's apartment, to do their first like plumbing gig, and it's all this beautifully clean cut marble floors and everything, and then they go back home. And it's like classic New York City Italian family, all sitting at the table. They're all having dinner. It's like muted tones. It's like super cozy and everything.
How much
I think
did that
was-
one guy look like John Turturro? Like the little animated the guy with the curly hair.
Which guy?
The dad? Or no, the
I don't
uncle
think he
or
was
something
the
like
dad.
that.
He was
He was
a-
like the uncle guy.
yeah,
yeah.
He had the curly hair.
I thought
Remember
of
that?
him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so Turturro.
Fun little Charles Martinet, the original voice, was the father's voice, father's character. It was a fun little call out. It's fun.
Okay, so let's talk quickly here, guys. We always want to touch on themes and arcs. So thematically, I don't think we're dealing with anything truly profound here. Gentlemen, care to take a crack at the thematics in this one?
I mean, the theme was just Mario. It's just like play the Mario games.
Brian's usually really good about digging into these, deep-rooted themes, and I'm not very good at it. But I was waiting for you to come up with something. But
No. I honestly, full disclosure, I decided to not even think about a theme on this because I don't feel the movie deserves even me analyzing the theme. Sorry to be a curmudgeon, but it's just a commercial.
just a commercial. I don't know. I think the theme of just like that deep-rooted family, brothers, and they were separated and they always had each other. And I think that was kind of a fun little. They only had like that last 90 seconds of heroic moment together, which is kind of a bummer for a Super Mario Brothers movie. That they only had that little bit at the beginning doing the plumbing work, and then beating Bowser in the city streets as like their only moment in this entire film. But I don't know. I think it's just that deep-seated brothers that, I don't know.
Wait, so your theme is brothers?
No, I don't know if it's just that very slight. I mean, it doesn't need to be deep, like Nick said earlier. It's trying to be exactly what it is. It's a simple video game film based on a movie where you move from left to right and you complete complex puzzles from beginning to end, starting at
Interesting.
one
So
to
the
one.
exact same thing I said.
Yeah.
Nick, you got a theme for us? Because boy, we're scraping the bottom.
Do
of the
we
Donkey
need
Kong
a
barrel.
theme? I think we've talked about that before. I don't think it has to have a theme to be an enjoyable film or a good film.
I have themes.
Hey,
Oh, here he comes.
Oh boy.
I always struggle with them, but I would agree with you, Nick. I don't think it had any.
some movies have stronger themes than others, and I contend this one just doesn't.
Generally speaking, I think one sort of thematic here is that this is a sort of quintessential hero's tale, right? Kind of in the spirit of like, old school storytelling, epic storytelling, where we kind of have this, a very classic hero's journey, I would say, with Mario. So that's kind of the hero's journey. I would say would be one theme because it follows that course pretty directly. I think another big theme is the theme of working together and collaboration and and ultimately also just the eternal struggle of good versus evil. I mean, this is a movie that's very, as many good movies do, in my opinion, boil it down super simply, like Star Wars. It's good versus bad. It's real simple. You know who the good guys are. You know who the bad guys are. That's not going to change. Luke
One wears
Skywalker,
black and one wears white. Yep.
You know, despite what we think about, Darth Vader convincing him to, or the Emperor convincing, we know he's never going to go to the dark side. There's no fucking way.
Oh,
Right?
Star Wars themes are so much more rich than this. I mean, you've got the Han Solo sort of scoundrel arcing into like the savior. You've got Darth Vader like turning good. I mean, these are great themes. So
I don't
want to compare the two that way.
Okay,
I see what you're saying, but I just want to, for the record, state that I think that Star Wars has major and profound and very deep themes.
My point, I don't think you really understood my point though, which was that
Heroes,
was
good
that
and
it's
bad.
a very, very simple it's a simple good versus bad, black and white. It's there's no nuance to it, I guess. And in Star Wars, yes, I agree. It does have much better, deeper, bigger themes.
Okay,
for
okay,
sure.
good.
I totally agree with that. I can't compare this movie to Star Wars, except, I mean, I am, I guess, in that one way. But yes, I will not dispute that Star Wars is a far superior film to
Okay,
this.
I just wanted to note that.
But I think, yeah, it's just that, I guess what I'm saying is I think it's not only okay, but I kind of like it sometimes when movies, especially like a kid's movie like this, just doesn't try to overdo it. It makes it really, really simple. You know who's who. And you're going to get from A to Z, but you don't quite know how you're going to get there. But there's the players aren't going to change, and there's not going to be any really dramatic twists, which can be good, can be bad. But for the kind of movie this is, I think that's good.
And just a note on themes in general, I don't think they need to be complex or subtext or nuanced. They can be, and that's great. But what I do want a theme to be is it can be simple, but I need it to be strong. I need it to be what it is.
Yeah,
And
I would agree with you here that it's outrageously simple. I couldn't find one. I'm not very good at finding them in general, but I would agree with you there for sure.
I think Nick did a good job at
Yeah.
extracting themes, and I actually,
tried.
I don't
Yeah.
disagree with anything you said. Yeah.
I tried. Damn it. Okay, this is Critical Mess. We're getting into it tonight. We're getting into it. So,
Thank you, Woodenville.
What? Yes, Woodinville and. Yeah,
I actually haven't had any yet, so maybe that's why maybe that'll chill me out a little bit.
no, this is good. This is fun. So I think actually, you know what? I think it's time. Cue the music. Dun, 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 dun.
Hold on, let's get a clean take.
Wait, we have his take from before. We just need
Okay.
to clip it.
I'll just clip it. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we're in Brian's corner. That's where we're going to shift over to here, and I know we've got a fun. I think we've heard interactive corner tonight. So yes, let's visit.
Hey everybody, welcome to Brian's Corner. I just want to shout out to the ether and any shot caller in Hollywood. Stop making video game movies. Full stop. They all suck. And I want to ask you guys a question. Since 1993, there have been 55 domestic market movies based on video games. Can you guys each list 3 that are good?
3 that are good or 3 that I like.
It's a good, yeah.
Can we say 3 that are good?
Nope.
Okay, 3 that we.
I can do
like.
at least one, and producer Ben kind of pointed it to a recent one that actually had decent reviews, which I really enjoyed. Was Detective Pikachu. Thought it was different. I thought it was really well done with the world building. Visuals were stunning to mix both cartoon and real world. And,
Isn't that based on a card game?
no, video game.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know anything about
Yeah.
Pokemon, so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one.
But that was the only one that I can really
Okay.
think of that
Nick,
was done.
You're probably looking at a list, if I had to guess, which is totally acceptable and good, probably.
Damn, throwing shade over here.
No.
Yeah,
I didn't mean,
jeez.
no. I was trying to give you time. Like, feel free to look at
By
it.
No, I
rushing
actually-
you into finding an answer.
No, I will say that admittedly 2 came to mind immediately, and there was one other one that I couldn't remember if this was actually a movie or a bad dream I had. So, and yes, I've confirmed that it is a real movie. So yeah, okay. So I say the first one that came to mind immediately was I actually really, I know it's not a good movie, but I like the first Resident Evil movie. It's super. Have you guys seen it?
No.
Okay. Well, it's not like certainly not a great horror movie, but it's super vibey. And I just kind of I just like it. I don't know. It's when the action is a little bit few and far between, but it's good when it happens, I think, and it has good tension. And I don't know. It's a bad movie, but I like it.
Okay.
I also enjoyed, just because it's so bad, the House of the Dead movie. I don't know if anybody saw that. I think is it maybe directed by that guy? I should look that up real quick. Uwe Boll or something.
I'm familiar with that name. I can't remember what they directed though.
It is directed by. It is
Uwe
yes, Uwe Boll. Yes. It's fun. It's really bad, but it's fun. And then the one I was looking up was Silent Hill.
Okay.
Which was, I remember seeing, and I remember just being like really fucking weird and like just a strange but somehow worth watching movie, even though it was definitely super, super bad. So,
Okay.
I mean, your point stands more or less. The video game movies are terrible, generally speaking. Now, I find enjoyment in terrible movies sometimes.
No, sure, absolutely, and I do too. But
And I'll say the other Resident Evil movies, for the record, are like I've not liked any of the other Resident Evil movies.
There are
I've
many.
seen.
There are
Yeah,
many.
there are, and
There's
there
a
are
lot
many.
of them,
Yeah.
What was the first one? Like 2000, something like that.
2002. So I hate video game movies, and I think one of the main reasons is because, like, if you think about movies based on books, that's a different medium, because a video game is already a visual platform. It's a visual medium. It's kind of like a movie, and a lot of times they make video games these days, especially with the storytelling and the craft, almost on caliber with movie making. I mean, they're very kind of tangential sort of mediums. But a book is totally different. A book is conceptual. It's all conceptual, and so when you bring that to the screen, there's the old adage, the movie's never as good as the book. Well, that's fine, but books are so good that a movie can still be great. And I think that's a different idea, adapting a book than adapting a video game. And I'm just gonna read through a couple of these video game movies that have come out since '93, which was the first one. '93, Super Mario Bros. Did you guys see Super Mario Bros. In 1993?
Many
Bob
of times.
Hoskins
Of course.
and
Oh yes.
okay,
Love it.
famously terrible.
Yeah, but lots of fun.
I haven't watched that in a very, very long time. I should rewatch.
Do you remember the
it
very
soon.
end of that movie?
Sort of.
That had me the
Doesn't-
most hyped I ever was when I was a kid. The chick busts in and she's like, "You guys are never gonna believe what I just saw," and then it ends on a cliffhanger. But they never made a second one,
Nice.
and I was like so disappointed.
Yes.
That movie got a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
surprised it's that
93. Street Fighter came out in 94.
Oh, and how did I forget that one? I really love that movie.
11%
Great
on Rotten
movie.
Tomatoes.
Wow.
Double Dragon 94.
That's an unwatchable movie.
12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Mortal Kombat 95. 13-year-old Brian went and saw this like 5 times in the theaters and loved it. This is not a good movie. It's
Not
got
a
a
good movie.
45%.
Watchable
How did
though.
the
not
remake?
good.
But
how did the remake
watchable.
do?
It's watchable, but like not a good movie. Mortal Kombat Annihilation 97. 4% on Rotten
I
Tomatoes.
don't think I've seen it.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider, one of my top 5 least favorite movies of all time is
Wow.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I blogged on this like 10 years ago. My 5 least favorite movies, probably 15 years ago.
They made a few of those, right?
Oh yeah, Lara Croft Tomb Raider starring Angelina Jolie, 20%. Then you got Resident Evil, 35%. Doom was terrible. Doom was
terrible.
horrendous.
Doom was terrible.
I love
What's worse,
Doom.
was Doom worse or Ghosts of Mars? Because that seems like the same movie to me. It's
know.
just people dressed in spacesuits running through
shit,
tunnels.
Yeah.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both red.
They came out
They're both-
very
it's like the
close
same
together.
movie. It's
Yeah.
like one's just 10 years earlier than the other one, or
Doom
20.
was 18%. Silent Hill, 32%. Hitman, and I'm reading like the biggest franchises.
Hitman. I loved Hitman.
16%.
Timothy Oliphant, dude.
Oliphant, yeah.
That movie was excellent.
Assassin's
I forgot
Creed.
that's a good movie. That counts in the good column.
16%.
Yeah.
Assassin's
I haven't seen
Creed, 18%.
Might have to rewatch a few of these.
Warcraft by Duncan Jones, the director of
yeah,
Moon, which is a
that's gotta be bad.
fantastic movie. 28%.
Gotta
Yeah,
be
no
bad.
thanks.
Yeah.
Uncharted, a very recent one with old boy Spider-Man dude.
That's terrible.
41%,
you-
a huge disappointment. So I just wanted to read through those because those, like, I know that there have been more, but I picked out like the biggest franchises that like
Yeah.
people know. And these movies, I mean, sure you can like them and enjoy them, but they're just not good movies.
The hard thing with book versus adapting it to a video game. I think books pull at your imagination. So a lot of people have these, like, you have to build a story with minimal words, with very specific words, and you're trying to build up something visual in someone's mind. That is very organic. When you're trying to play a video game, you're constantly doing the same thing over and over again to beat a level or beat a thing or whatever. Yes, they are visually beautiful. A lot of people talk about the cut scenes in video games now, like in the last 20 years. And I think one of the hardest things that you're trying to do is you don't tell a huge, I mean, what is it, a 15, 20-minute cutscenes of all these things? And maybe Halo was the first time they ever did, like, there might be a full hour and a half, 2-hour movie in cutscenes in that game.
Well, and even going all the way back to like Half-Life and Half-Life 2, those are very cinematic and very high-level storytelling.
So I think one of the funny things is a lot of the times is people will be like, oh, I'll just go back and watch the cutscene of the video game. Rather than play it, I'll just watch the cutscenes and just get a whole movie out of that because the storytelling's better. So what is it that people are trying to do, or writers today or directors today or people that are trying to build something new on a movie from a video game is, I think the difficulty is why don't you just copy what was great about the video game? Why don't you just take the entire cutscene in the video game, just make it beat for beat? I think it's because they're trying to, one, translate it to a film, two, they're trying to make it different enough or visually interesting enough that it doesn't copy the game. And I think that's the hardest. I think that's the thing that I noticed the most is they're trying to make it different enough that it's not just a beat for beat cut of the storyline from the video game.
So are you kind of analyzing like why?
Yeah,
they don't tend to be very
why
good?
they tend to not be good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's 3 out of 100 in the last.
I think, and this is speculation, I think they don't have to be good because you've already got a built-in audience that's going to go see this movie because they play the game. And video games have much larger markets than books.
Yeah.
With few exceptions, and you got the built-in audience.
But
it's
they're
kind of
not
like Christian
always-
movies.
they're
Christian
not
movies
always-
suck because you got a built-in audience that's going to
Yeah.
go see them regardless of how shitty your movie is.
Yeah.
And video games to me, and I just want to say this because I don't want to go. This is the last thing I'll say in Brian's Corner video game edition. But Sonic and Sonic 2, I thought were decent movies. I thought they were well made. They were funny. They stayed true enough to their subject matter, but also took risks. And I would say both of those movies, I rated both those movies favorably. So there you go. I just wanted to kind of explore the sorts of the video game sort of landscape because, I mean, there's got to be one good one. Why is there not one like amazing video game movie out there?
I think we just saw it last night, or I did.
I sure did.
I think it's how I just explained. I think it's just hard because people's expectations, especially from that built-in audience, they're expecting what they played. They're expecting the exact same thing, just in a better visual story, like a better visual example of an hour and a half.
I
2
predict
hour
in
movie.
5 years this movie people will have cooled on this movie, and I think this is recency bias. That's what I'll say.
Yeah,
Speculation.
maybe. I don't know how often people go back after so many years. Maybe they will, but
Thank you, everyone, for joining me in Brian's Corner. See you next time.
so do we think Nintendo is going to hold on to their stronghold on this IP and all their IPs that they hold, or are they, now that they have their $100 million push to make $1.5 billion plus? Not, this is $1.5 billion from the movie, not like toys and merchandise.
The
and all this shit.
merchandising from this movie is
Was
another billion.
Billions of dollars.
This movie, unfortunately, is going to spawn 10 movies. The next one's going to be about Yoshi because of that last scene. We got Mario forever now.
Do we think it's going to do what the Lego movie did, where they made that movie, blew up, they made the Batman Lego movie 1 and 2, Lego movie 1 and 2, but did they make anything else besides that for the Lego franchise?
Ninjago.
Did they?
There are 4 Lego movies, and they may be making another one. I don't know, but
So do we think Nintendo is going to let go of their stronghold?
There are at least 5 Nintendo movies now after this one. Mario, sorry, not Nintendo, but just Mario World movies.
Oh, yeah.
So
All right.
that's what I predict.
What's this show again?
Critical Mess.
Critical Mess.
You are listening to Critical Mess. Are you still listening to this episode?
No.
Producer Ben
The
even
movie's
left
not
to
over
go to the
yet.
bathroom.
Yeah, the movie's not quite over.
The movie's not over, so we got some time.
I just want to. I'm not letting go of this, but we are going to move on after I say it. I've got a bone to pick on. I think Hitman's a good movie. I want to point out it's 57% audience score, so I like that. It's a solid B action movie.
And full disclosure, I've not seen it, so I am not saying that it's a bad movie. I am looking at it and saying that's a big franchise, and it got a 16%. So take that for what it is.
Did you watch Detective Pikachu? Did you
No,
follow
no,
the game?
and I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought it was based on a card game. I don't know what
Yeah,
Pokemon
video
is.
game and then card game came after. Yeah,
Harry Potter and Pokemon. I don't know what these things are. I'm old. I'm I don't get them.
yeah. You are old.
I'm ignorant.
All right, gentlemen.
Old, not ignorant. Yeah.
No, I'm ignorant. No, that's fine.
Gentlemen, we've got another segment to do. Okay, it's our best segment.
Best
it's our
one.
most storied segment. I feel like we've been doing this segment the whole episode, quite honestly.
No,
Or at least, I
Kind
don't
of.
know, a little bit of it.
really, it's all this, but we just name it other things.
We do. So, yeah, you're on to us. So, this is rapid fire. I mean slow burn. I mean crossfire.
Crossfire.
Whatever you want to call it. Whatever suits you. Whatever floats your boat. We're going to get into this. So, I have some things written down. I can just, pop one off here, and that didn't sound right.
Pop us off, Nick.
I'm not popping anyone off. I'm popping one off. That's
Just one.
Popping mine. Nobody else's.
Oh God.
I'm cutting all of this.
Guys,
No, you're not.
guys, we're only talking about our tasty sponsor, Guinness Drought. Okay?
Drought
So,
me, baby.
It's not a drought here tonight, let me tell you.
It's a drought stout.
So, anyways, Ben, there you go. Tagline. Bing, bang, boom. Okay. So let's jump right into the slow burn here. So my first one is this was a moment that the only way I can really describe it is it delighted me. And that moment was when we get down to kind of Koopa in his lair celebrating with the boys, and the metal is thrashing. And he's like kind of tapping his head, and he's kind of jamming with the metal, right? And it's kind of like that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, those little kind of subtle things that the characters do, like those little nuances to how they kind of move, kind of organically in those types of situations, that I thought was just super cool. And that concert, I mean, I wanted to be at that concert. That looked like an absolutely fucking rockin' concert. It looked like, Metallica in 1990 and outside of Moscow. It looked like just a million Koopas just rocking out.
Isn't that the one where like over 1 million people
Yeah,
were
right.
like live there?
So, and that one of the greatest YouTube videos of all time. I'll just a shameless plug. That's a great video. Anyway,
My response to this is yes, I've always loved the Bowser Castle aesthetic, and it'd be really cool to hang out in that sort of metal,
yeah,
feel for sure.
yeah, super metal.
Yeah, I like the atmosphere of it.
Grizz, you appreciate the metal?
Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
He didn't listen to a single thing you just said.
But I'll take it.
I actually
I
looked at my
will
notes from
take
that.
Were there any chicks in Koopa Land, or is it all dudes? And if so, how do they make more?
They're eggs. They come out of eggs, right? Wait, are they turtles? Are they all turtles? Turtles come out of eggs. But
Yeah, but where do
women
the
lay eggs?
eggs come from?
How do they meet more is so funny.
We need Bowser's backstory. I'm telling you.
Bowser's history.
Does he does he do the eggs, or
He might be the queen. You never know.
the king / queen?
Maybe he is a queen.
I don't know. Anyway, my next thought. This is just a general thought, and I'm talking more about gaming here, but also just generally speaking. Fuck Rainbow Road. I absolutely fucking hate Rainbow Road and every single fucking iteration of Mario Kart. And Grizz, you're gonna have to mark this episode fucking explicit because I absolutely hate that and actually don't.
Get after it.
I won't.
Get after it, Nick. Get into it.
Yes,
Preach.
I hate, but Mario Kart is just one of my favorite top 5 games of all time. Super Nintendo Mario Kart would be top 5 games of all time for me, and I do quite a bit of gaming, so there's quite a many hundred of hours, if not thousands, probably thousands of hours into that game. And Mario and Rainbow Road in that game and the other Mario games is just always the most frustrating, annoying track. It's where the on 150cc, it's where the computer is the cheapest. They bump you off the edge. The shortcuts are the hardest to hit, but the most gratifying. But it goes, and it's not just the Super Nintendo game. It's on the other iterations. It's on 64 and GameCube, and even the new one, Mario Kart 8. I fucking hate the Rainbow Road tracks.
Don't you hate when you sit down with 4 people and you've got the four split screen and there's always that friend who always chooses
I know who picks
the
Rainbow
Road Cup,
it's
and you're
'cause
like, oh my
you know
gosh,
what?
all right, 20 minutes later, it's the longest course.
And it's
I
the
totally agree with
longest
you.
one.
It's so
and
long.
Just only a filthy sadist picks that track.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I hate Rainbow Road.
thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. So, anyways.
Real quick, I can't believe we haven't brought this up yet. We're talking Mario here, like the OG. What's your favorite Mario game?
Super Mario
anything.
3.
Could be Mario Kart, whatever.
Super Mario 3, without a doubt.
That's the right answer.
Absolutely.
That is the best Super
greatest
Mario game.
video game, possibly. It's definitely in my top 3.
It's my number one by
Yeah,
far.
it's got to be 1 and 2 with maybe Link's Awakening
I go Mario 3
or Ocarina of Time.
and then Super Mario 64 and then Mario 1.
Wow.
That's my 3. Nick, what's your favorite Mario game?
You know what's funny? I don't even put Mario 3 in my top 3.
Really?
Yeah, and I will
Are you a
acknowledge.
weirdo?
Oh,
likes
Mario
Mario
specific.
2?
Sorry, Mario
Yeah,
3
sorry,
for
sorry.
sure. Number
Yes,
1. Sorry,
Mario
yes.
specific.
Mario Kart is my favorite. It's just always been my favorite. I just, I can't get
On
around
Super
that.
Super Nintendo, right?
Which one?
The OG Super NES.
Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, in 64, Mario Kart for me.
Same.
Okay, good answers. Cool. Anyway, I just wanted to clear the air and get that out.
We could
there,
agree
so.
on something.
Yeah, I also just I have to give the rest of my top 3. That's
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize. Thank you.
no. Super Mario World. Also on
Super
on
NES.
Super NES. Yep. And you know what? The other one I'm going to go with. I wonder if you guys have ever even played, but I promise you, it is one of the greatest games
I know
ever.
what you're about to say.
Do you? If I'm
Call it
saying
out,
what,
Ben. Call it
'cause
out.
there's 2 where I could go here. I feel like, and I feel like you're thinking of one of them.
Now I'm under pressure. I think it's Mario Party.
It's not.
Damn it.
Is it Paper
It's
Mario?
Not. No. This is
Smash
this is
Brothers?
a little bit of a weird one. A little bit of
Galaxy?
a weird one. It's no. Mario and the 6 Golden Coins, the original game, or no, the second Game Boy game.
Oh, Game Boy.
Interesting.
In the Mario series is an unbelievable. It's probably arguably the best game on the Game Boy. It is a exceptional Mario game, and I think a lot of people actually out there might kind of agree with me. Shout out to Mario RPG 2. Love that game. Okay, I'll shut up about Mario games.
I can't believe you put all those above Mario 3, but
Yeah,
kudos to
but
you.
Mario 3, but once again, an absolute
They're
10
all
out of 10
good.
masterpiece.
Aren't they all
So, I
great?
mean, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's just the brilliance of the franchise. So, okay, well, for just 1 second, slow burning it. Let's stay on Rainbow Road. That battle went straight up Mad Max on that ass, real quick. Like the rack focus on the Koopa Trooper as he's driving that big truck thing. It's it's just like that scene in Mad Max where the what are the guys called, the bad guy, I don't remember what they're called,
don't remember what they're
something
called
boys, or I need to watch that. That was such a good movie, and I've maybe only seen it. I may have seen it twice. I need to rewatch
I
it.
just completed my top 100 movie list of all time, and that is on there.
Yeah, I mean it's just so good. Anyways, but
You're talking about the big thing with
we
the
digress.
big teeth that come in and almost completely
yeah. It
destroys
was
Mario.
very, very,
Yeah.
very Mad Max.
Yep.
So, anyways, just an observation. Man, let me tell you guys a little story.
Ooh.
So one summer, all I did, I don't know what age I was. I'm going to say it was like the 24, 25 range. But literally my full-time job, the only thing I did the entire summer was play Mario Kart Wii. Like for 8 to 10 hours a day, Monday through Sunday. I just sat in a bedroom and played Mario Kart Wii. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but not as much as you might
No,
think.
I would say I played a lot of Wii. The wife and I were in college at the time when it came out, and we spent a lot of our college spending money on just purely the Wii to get every game we could.
You guys just stayed in your rooms and played with your Wii?
Absolutely.
Are we saying weed
Wii.
or we are playing with Wii?
Wii. Playing
Okay.
the Wii.
Okay,
The
sorry.
Nintendo Wii.
Anyway, so I was on a quest that summer because I was playing online, and this was the first online Mario Kart, and the ranking system went from it was a 4-digit ranking system from 0 to 9,999.
Did you get first?
What do you
have a
mean?
world
In the
record that we
No,
don't know about?
Guys, just calm down. I actually did. Little known fact: have a world record in a Super Nintendo Mario Kart track in 2000, when the internet 2005, on the first. And I didn't officially even submit it, but I did beat the world record time. It was on Ghost Valley 1, Super Nintendo. I swear to you, and I taped it and everything. I just didn't send it in because I was just like, who cares? I know in my heart that I beat this.
I watch a lot of speedrun and world record YouTube video analysis videos, and I've always wanted to be one of those guys. So I'm really jealous. That
Yeah,
you
it was
got
it
that.
was cool. I did like all summer. Like I was just played this track over and over and over again. I beat whatever some like 7-year-old Chinese kid that like had the record before me. And anyways, the record I had has been like absolutely obliterated into billions of tiny pieces of dust.
Yeah, but you
So-
held it. That's what matters.
I
You
did
held it.
I did according to the was and I don't even remember the name of the site, but there was only one site back then that was like the the official.
Was it Twin Galaxy?
I don't think so. I don't think it was Twin Galaxy.
Well,
but I
put it
remember
this way,
Twin Galaxy.
you shouldn't feel
but-
bad about that because every record gets beat. No one,
Oh,
no
yeah.
one's record stands on any game forever. They always get beat. So kudos to you.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm telling a very long-winded story here. So let me get back right into it, and then we'll get out of this and get back to our lives. So, so I'm on a quest this summer to get to 9,999, the top ranking you can possibly get in this game, which is very, very rare. I mean, you're only gonna like the amount of people you come across with the top 999, and some people maybe were even hacking. So you don't even know how many people are even real to have that rank. So, but it was extremely difficult to attain. And this one summer, I had 2 incidents that were among the most vicious setbacks of my entire life. And one of them was, I remember it was on Yoshi Valley, I believe, and it was it's a very fast track. It's over very, very quickly, and I was in the 9,000s and in the 93 9400 range. So I was closing in, and I just remember I had the most we're getting to the movie here, the most just excruciatingly just painful, just eviscerated me, this blue shell.
Oh, blue
Just
shells.
Literally, but the front part of my cart was on the finish line. I was touching the finish line, and I'm not even kidding you. This is a stacked game, and like 8 people zoomed past me in that one split second because it's such a fast track, and it's a track you can catch up on so quick. And I lost like 178 points or something, like on that one ugly blue shell. So, anyways. All of that to say,
I would have rage quit.
I'm sure I was.
You
very
smashed
upset.
that console, right, and bought another one.
I'm sure, not as bad. The other, well, I'll make this one much shorter. But the other thing that happened that was actually worse was I had a disconnect in a game that I was like, I was gonna win or get first or second or something. But when you disconnect, it gives you last, 12th place. So, and when you get 12th place, you get fucking hammered. Like it's like exponential the way the points work, especially when you get like up high. So you lose like 300 points, and it takes you like 7 hours to get that back. Wait, more than that actually. So anyway, so blue shells, guys. They included a blue shell in this
Yep,
movie.
they sure
I
did.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that was the slowest of slow burning slow burns. So anyone have anything to say about that?
It was good. I was
was
enraptured.
I sat back
good.
in my chair and just listened. It was awesome.
This has been Nick's trauma corner.
yes, the blue shell trauma corner. Yes.
It's what built him today.
Yes.
Nick's corner has a bunch of like those kitten inspirational posters. Don't give up, where he's kind of hanging on a line now.
Okay, another crossfire thought. Bowser provides amazing kind of wealth and security. What woman wouldn't want him?
Strong, dominant, has a soft side.
Owns
Can
the
we talk?
land?
Can we, since this is slow burn,
Owns the land.
rapid fire? Can we quickly talk about? I really hope. Damn it, Nick.
Oh man. Yeah. Sorry, Grizz.
Yeah.
The more I
That's
thought
pretty
about
good.
that, the
Yeah.
funnier it became.
That's pretty good.
All right. I got to just call this out. The little star guy, he was just a little pleasure. I really
The little
enjoyed.
blue guy.
Yeah, his comic
yeah.
relief. He was just so happy to die in the end. It was just like I was just like this guy.
And the voice
I
was such
like
a
this
cute
guy.
little kid voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
so
was
good.
like sort of twisted and weird, especially
Yeah.
kind of for a kids movie.
Very
And I just
macabre.
really that plussed it up for me. Yeah.
Lumily is his name, and he's from Mario Galaxy, which my wife was
Okay.
addicted to on Wii. And
Okay.
the only reason she asked me to play it was the final level. I had not played it at all. And I played and beat the final level in just one go. So I don't know if that just becomes my thing of I just love Mario and I just knew how to play it. But
Nice.
Lumily was my favorite character in this film. And I have the quotes written down, which he just says in this like very child voice, soft.
Such a cute little like 4-year-old.
Amazing.
Voice. I don't know how they got that.
So dark. I don't know how they approved that he was dark as hell.
Read
So
some.
these quotes are: "Time, like hope, is an illusion. No escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death."
Yeah, what a great
As
line.
he's swinging in the cages in the dungeon of Bowser's castle with Luigi, and then he goes, "Fresh meat for the grinder," as more people come down, and he's just chanting that he's excited. And then he finally like, "Life is sad. Prison is sad. Life in prison is very, very sad." And then at the very end, when they all get set free, he just goes, "Boo!" I don't know if anybody caught that, but he just quietly says it in the background.
I'm telling you, this is a movie for gamers, not kids.
That was one of my favorites.
No, I'm just kidding.
It was so good.
All right, so I just have to say this really quickly as part of a rapid fire thought. We've already touched on it, obviously, but music is 10 out of 10 for me. I thought the music was excellent. I thought it was just every time the music hit, I was like, and that's really rare for me. And I love music, but rarely am I like, I can't wait for the next song. And this movie, I really was like, and like, dude, I Need a Hero. Like that's one of my
Yes.
favorite songs
That's a
of
great
all
song.
time. Because I had the Footloose soundtrack on cassette growing up, and I just used to blast that song all the time. And that is like, not even kidding, probably in my top 10 or 20 favorite songs of all time.
Wow.
So like, because I just loved it so much as a kid.
And it was played during a montage.
Perfect.
So it was perfectly used.
Perfectly
and
used.
to even have that song and No Sleep Till Brooklyn. I mean, man,
As they're running through, and it does the montage where it flips from 3D to 2D, and they go back and forth as Mario and Luigi are running through the
Beastie
city.
Boys, man.
So good.
yeah, I
and
did not expect that.
We said AC/DC
Yeah.
before. They got some expensive.
AC/DC,
Not only
yeah, they did.
they picked the songs, but I think the timing was absolutely perfection. But it was also like just the use of it was just, oh man. And there are also songs that aren't used that often, at least not in modern movies as like a montage kind of thing. But
Yeah, they were all like
Yeah.
older songs. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here's another one. I did not expect Mario to kick a dog within the first 10 minutes.
that dog was a piece of shit.
That dog got so pissed that Mario accidentally broke his bone in half. He went. Did you see what he did?
He went ham on him.
He went psycho.
Yeah.
But it was kind of funny at the end when they save the day and the dog kind of looks at him and he kind of like gives him the nod of approval.
He did.
I found
He
some,
put up a fight.
I found some levity in that.
But he straight up kicks that dog.
Yeah.
And I don't like dog kickers.
Well,
I'm sorry, that dog was a piece of shit. And it's also a cartoon.
He was, if you're being violently attacked, I understand that it's probably okay to kick a dog.
That dog was pretty aggressive.
Nonetheless, I didn't expect our protagonist Mario to be kicking dogs within the first 10
Yeah, I'll
minutes
give
of
it
the
to you.
film. Caught me a little off guard.
Yeah, Mario also tried to drown it.
I mean, we live in a world of factory farming, so you got to pick your battles, I suppose.
True. Like,
What an asshole thing I just said. What an off-topic thing I just said. Cut that out, Ben.
I didn't even listen to it and just said true.
I was taking a picture. What'd you say?
So, whatever it was, I don't endorse that statement because I guess it was not a good one. What did you say? Like,
well, no, actually,
was it
I
something really
completely
bad?
mean it and stand behind it, but it got so like absolutely zero reaction from the room to where I felt like I was like out of line for a second. But now I realize you guys just weren't paying attention, so fuck you. Let's continue.
Is Brian still talking? Oh, sorry.
touche. Touche. Okay. So like it took me like 40 minutes into this movie. I don't know if you guys watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I was like, that's Charlie.
Yeah,
I didn't
Charlie
even
Day.
fucking realize it until it took a long time. And it's weird because he has a very distinctive voice, but for whatever reason, did not occur to me instantly that he was Luigi, which was odd. And I'm just such a huge fan of Always Sunny, so it was just weird that I didn't immediately pick up on that.
I had to have been most excited when he was announced as Luigi to go see. I was really hyped to go see this, and I really enjoyed this. I might even jump my score eventually with more rewatches. But yeah, Charlie Day was awesome in this. I actually thought Bowser was a weird voice that I didn't notice until late. Or Jack Black's voice.
I did not like Jack Black as Bowser because the only thing I could think the entire time was Jack Black.
I didn't actually pay attention until it was late in the film, like midway point, that I actually noticed it was Jack Black. And then,
I like
it
Jack
took me
Black.
a little while too on him.
and it went
as well.
heavy Jack Black at that point.
Well, but he's singing the peaches, peaches.
Yeah,
doing the
all right.
whole
Singing
Jack Black
gave it
thing.
totally
are we
away,
going to talk about Peaches? Are you
No,
mention
can
it?
we not? Because everyone talks about that song and it's all over.
I
the
know, but
internet,
are we
and I'm
going to
kind
talk
of-
about
Was
the
that
fact?
like a meme thing?
Yeah, it's a huge thing.
Really?
Who cares?
Are we
It's a
gonna-
stupid
we can
song?
pass
I thought it was fucking awesome. All right, so
Why?
the reason why I think it was awesome because it has the potential to be nominated for an Oscar for original song this year, and I really hope it does.
It doesn't match Bowser. Bowser's the big bad evil
I know, that kinda
fire
irritated me.
That was the
breather,
I
and
am
he's
with you on
singing
that.
this Peaches song on a piano. Sorry, no.
Brian, we're on the same
I
page
love
on
it.
something here tonight. 50
Yes.
points difference, and we are on the same page right now.
See, Building
Okay,
bridges.
I knew we could do it, which is a big theme in this film.
Thank you, Woodenville.
Big theme. Yes, Woodenville. Bringing us together.
I'm thanking Woodenville for that.
Building bridges, bitch. All right.
If anyone's still listening to this podcast, it's because they left their thing on and went into another room and it's just playing.
We will
in the
take
other
the
room.
listen.
I hope someone's
Sure,
child
we'll
is
take
not
that
just like
analytics.
listening to this because the parent left the room and just been rambling. Okay. So Mario and Luigi are just like very small, like abnormally small, like weird little people that just live in the real world. Then is that correct?
Are they weirdly small in comparison to everybody else?
Well, yeah. Did we not?
Like
no,
Princess Peach is twice the height of Mario.
I'm talking about just the real
The real
world.
world.
I know,
in the
but,
first-
but Princess Peach is a human, is why I said that. Remember how
Sure,
she
sure.
just has a whole thing about, oh, you're a human.
Well, yeah.
and
No,
that's kind
you're
of their connection.
reinforcing this. Yes. I
yes,
mean,
yes, I'm reinforcing that they're
Yeah.
tiny.
They're just. Isn't that weird? Are they? So are they like little people?
Oh,
I have no idea.
are they?
I mean, there are a lot of different shapes and sizes of humans in the real
Okay,
world
Let's
characters.
put it this way: we're in the real world, okay? You guys remember Spike? I mean, Mario literally says, or Luigi says, I think he's 3 times bigger than you, and he's at least 3 times bigger than Mario. So, okay, let's put Spike at a generous 6'6", 280. Okay, Mario would still be like
2'5".
yeah, like 3'2" or something. Like 60, 3'2", 60.
I think we're overanalyzing illumination animation style, maybe.
Yeah, even Brian agrees with that.
You're right,
We're
but
going
I'm
a little too-
afraid of this subject matter.
This
no,
seems
I just
problematic.
it was a very simple question. Like
You're right. You're right. I love it.
I
Good
didn't-
observation.
The question was, is this the real world or not? I mean, or is this a world in which we have just some very small, proportionately small people and some very big brutish men that just kind of coexist, or is this, the real world? And these are 2 very, very tiny, tiny people. Among the smallest on record, I'm sure. Right?
In
Let me get
the-
this straight.
In
Are
the
you,
multiverse of places and things and sizes and shapes, then
are you doing a deep dive into the realism of the Super Mario Bros. Movie?
I am. I love this movie, so I want to talk about the finer points.
Okay.
So no, I digress. Any chicks in Koopa Land? We already went over that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went twice. Yeah.
All right.
How are there more?
Are there any more?
Okay. So let me just rattle off a quote or two, and I'm not sure I have much else. And I don't know if you guys have anything, but we'll get those too. But how about this one? Make your pecs dance. You deserve it.
I missed that. Who said that?
Donkey Kong scene, maybe
It was Donkey Kong's pappy.
his
Remember?
dad. Yeah.
Oh.
He
Yep.
was. Remember, it was after Donkey Kong done good. Remember that? He was like, "Make your pecs dance, boy."
Totally missed it.
That.
You guys didn't hear that line?
No.
The best lines of the whole
No.
movie.
I was too
Damn.
distracted by the Lumily blue star.
That brings your rating up at least a point or two, right?
You were enamored by that. No,
I
I'm
loved it.
sticking with my 32. Damn it.
Any movie that
We've
says
only
"Make your
once
pecs
had
dance."
Brian actually jump his score during an episode. That is
Have you guys ever done that? No,
I think
because
I-
you're entrenched.
I think I did once. Maybe.
I will say real quick, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. What'd you guys think? Yay or
Kinda a
nay?
little bit annoying.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was one of my least favorite characters for sure.
I think it was weirdly perfect casting.
I think in a world where Wreck-It Ralph doesn't exist, John C. Reilly's the voice of Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Dang.
Yeah.
If I could roll reverse, I'd pop him right
makes-
in there.
Yeah, he's perfect for that.
If he wasn't already thrown in there somewhere else
Yeah.
in the yeah.
Hey, Grizz, can you make me a "Make Your Pecs Dance" T-shirt?
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Will be available on the store at the Critical Mess podcast store.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I like that. That'll be our first shirt.
early access to the Patreons.
Make your pecs dance. Okay. A couple other quick quotes here. Bowser, I love this quote. Pain is the best teacher.
That's kind of almost Yoda-esque.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of an intense, poignant sort of quote.
All right, I'll go 33.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. There we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I thought Toad had good lines. I thought Toad made me laugh out loud at least 5 times in this movie, which I was a little surprised by. I did not expect. I probably laughed out loud 10 plus times in this movie, which was I would never expect
Really?
from a movie like this. Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
did.
did laugh out loud a lot in this
I've
movie.
never once.
Yeah.
What, did you Toad? Was he too heroic? Was he almost the Mario?
Toad.
For
I
you?
don't know why Toad was in this movie.
He was comic relief. What are you talking about?
Well,
There were a lot
I
of
don't know
comic
where-
reliefs
I don't
in
know
this
where
movie.
the comedy was.
I don't think he was used other than
Him-
maybe
him
a
s-
guide, like a narration guide to say, "Oh, here's this world. Here's this one. This is where we need to go next." He was just simply the storyteller.
But Brian, can I give you a couple examples of
Go
his
for it.
comic relief?
We'll see if I laugh out loud right now.
Well, I can't deliver like Mr. Key. He's he's the real voice talent. I can't deliver like that.
I've been laughing out loud at you all night, so I mean, I'm not above it.
I thought it was funny when he looked at Princess and said, "I fear nothing." That was pretty
That's good.
badass. I also liked when he was running, screaming through the crowd with Mario, yelling, "This guy's brother is going to die imminently."
Yeah, and then he goes, "I just had to tell him that or something to get through the
Yeah, it
crowd."
was fun.
Yeah, that was a good line.
Yeah, he had a few of those. I felt like, and I thought that Toad was a needed comic relief in this movie.
I think
Um,
Donkey Kong could have been all the comic relief we needed.
But he was Seth Rogen and not funny, unfortunately.
well, that's my point. Is he
Right.
he should have and could have been that
He
comic
could
relief.
have
John C.
been.
Reilly
he
all
could have
day.
been.
I'm just not sure who Toad is
That
or
would-
why
that
he's
would-
in it.
that's actually.
I know. Well,
That
he said
sounds
Nick
exactly
or Brian
right.
said it, and I think that would have been a
We
perfect.
spent like a minute on me talking about that. You must have been looking at your.
He's looking
I'm
at
allowed
his
to look at my
huge
notes.
I know,
and not-
I'm
you
sorry. I
guys have been
should've-
rambling
I
like
shouldn't have
fucking
called you
crazy
out.
tonight. Okay, I'm allowed to look at my notes for a couple minutes. Anyways, sorry to our listener tonight. we've really put you through the ringer, and we appreciate you sticking with us.
We're almost done. Don't worry.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. Okay.
no.
Two. I really do believe this was a outrageously enjoyable movie. I would push this up in my rating, but
I would take that outrageous word out of there because have you ever seen another movie?
yeah, I have a lot of movies.
All right, guys.
Doesn't sound like it.
We are just so close to being done with Slow Burn. So
Oh wow.
let me just throw one more at you guys here. Does having the word movie in the movie title bother you?
No, not at all.
Nope.
Can
Had to
you
think about
name
it, but no.
another movie?
The Lego
That
movie, the
does
Lego
that.
Movie 2, and then the Lego Ninjago movie, and the Lego Batman movie. Boy, I'm really fixated on Lego.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you really rattled those off. Did you recently watch all of them?
Well, no, they were just top of mind because we were talking about.
There really
that.
aren't like that many,
No.
but there are some. B movie.
B
There's
movie,
one. Anyway.
scary,
Anywho.
scary movie,
Scary movie.
Scary Movie 2,
Mhm.
Scary Movie 3, and Scary Movie 4.
Isn't it? It's Street Fighter the movie, right?
Oh, I wonder how many of the movies there are.
Yeah, that could be a fun list.
Somebody one day will update you all with that stat.
All right. Well, I feel like we've covered a lot of ground here tonight.
We sure have.
We sure have. Before we give our actually before we do anything, I just want to remind everyone what the show is. I keep forgetting what it is. I think it starts with a Q.
It's a great name. It's called Critical Mess.
Critical Mass.
It's like
Oh,
Critical
a pun.
Mass, you know?
I
Have
get
you
it.
ever, you know,
It's
you
a
get
pun.
it? You get it?
Yep. Our listeners are smart enough to understand that.
Sure.
I think they'll figure it out.
Anyway, yeah, it's Critical Mess. It's Woodinville. It's Guinness.
Drought.
Guinness drought. Never a drought on Critical Mess. So before we get to kind of closing thoughts, I think I want to toss it over to Ben. I think he's got just a
Yeah.
few things to say.
So, I have a new segment, and it is mostly just corrections.
Yes.
It's called Ben's Gems.
Yeah. So a couple of things.
Weirdly doesn't rhyme, but I thought it did.
Ben's Gems. It's at least a slant rhyme.
It's close.
I love the name. I'm saying my brain's stupid. Go ahead, Ben.
It did rhyme in my head too.
I know,
didn't it?
right? So I'm not
Yeah.
the only one? Okay.
So we're talking about the highest grossing animated films. Mario is actually the third highest grossing. Do you guys have a guess on the top two?
Is Avatar not?
No, that's not counted as anime.
It is
it's
not
not
counted
counted
as
live action.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Frozen.
Okay.
Is
It
up
is.
there.
It is fourth.
Oh.
Wow.
I would have guessed like I don't know, Shrek or something like that.
No, it wouldn't be
Something
Shrek.
wild, but
I feel like I just saw this.
Detective Pikachu.
It
is
is.
that up
It
there?
is two movies that you probably would not expect
It's not a Pokemon movie.
It is not.
I said Detective Pikachu, thinking it was the recent one, but no.
One is old, and then
I thought you were saying
actually,
the name of the movie was old. Oh, okay.
well, so it's a
It's an old movie.
remake of an old movie, and then the other one is a sequel.
The Lion King.
Oh,
No,
these are
is that
Disney
animated?
movies.
Lion,
Obviously.
Lion King is considered animated, and
Jungle Book.
no, Lion King is number one.
Okay, but not the
The
Jungle Book.
2019 version.
John Favreau.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
I haven't even seen
That's
it.
why
was
they keep.
beautiful.
That's why they keep
Good?
remaking all the freaking
Yeah.
Disney movies.
Yeah.
It's just so much
because
money.
they make so much money.
It's good though. I should
Lion
watch
King
it?
2019 was the highest grossing worldwide.
Did I need another Lion King? Is it not? Is the first one not enough?
It's not as good as the first one, but it's not bad.
And I know
Okay.
exactly why I don't think it's as good, but we'll talk about that later.
All right.
And then the second one is Frozen 2.
Frozen
Wow.
2, of course.
Frozen 2. Damn it. You
What
were
a-
close.
Okay.
So we were
Yeah.
right about Super Mario Bros. Being top 5 at least. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the highest grossing original movie because the other two I consider
Sequel,
sequels.
remake, yeah.
Remake. The last Nintendo release we covered a little bit, but it is Detective Pikachu in 2018. Yoshi is barely used, but we talked about that a little bit. And then Koji Kondo made the music to.
Yes. I knew that was
That
in
is
my
a-
brain.
Yeah, that was a great
I
call.
doubted myself.
Great call on that one.
Also, there's a list on IMDb with the list of films with the word movie in the title.
Oh, good.
There are 65 titles. However, Super Mario Bros. The movie is not in that list, so I would say 66.
Must be an old list.
Yeah.
Seems like an omission considering it made 1.3 bill.
Well, it's
Right.
probably somebody that made the list like. a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
years
it's just
ago.
an older list.
Sure.
I actually
Yeah.
had to
Updated.
go and look at this. I thought it was Super Mario Bros. Period. I
That's the
didn't know it was-
93 one.
Oh, really? Is that really? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Okay. I legit thought this was Super Mario Bros.
93. It's literally called Super Mario Bros.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn.
So that's it. That's
All
all.
right.
That's
All
all the
right.
corrections we have today.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks,
We
producer Ben.
appreciate Ben's gems. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to this. Has been a spicy hot episode of Critical Mass. We had some fun tonight.
Back to our old selves. you
Yeah,
know, getting-
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I
getting
really
mean.
did enjoy this. This was a good one. So yeah, thank you for listening. I will say before we go, we have started some social media accounts. And Grizz, I think, forgot to tell me what they were called before the episode started. So Grizz, you want to tell us what our social media is called?
We are beginning with this, but we are currently at just Instagram right now, and then we will build out to TikTok and Threads. So it is just at Critical Mess Crew. So it's
Critical
just
Mess Crew at Critical Mess
yep,
Crew.
at Critical Mess Crew. So check it out. Give us a follow.
Yeah.
All right,
Appreciate
yeah,
it.
please do. Thank you very much, Mr. Grizz, and thank you, dear listener, for listening to our Critical Mess on the Super Mario Brothers movie tonight. We had a lot of fun with it. We will be doing a new episode. I think we're going horror. Are we squeezing this into October? I forget where we landed on this. Are we trying, or is November going to be our horror movie? I don't know if we figured this
We're going
out.
to squeeze it into the Halloween season.
Are we going to
We'll say
release
that.
it on Halloween?
We should try
Okay.
as hard as we can.
Okay, so hopefully you're listening to this.
You're either going to get this
before-
on Halloween or like the first Thursday in November.
Or
Sure.
we'll just omit it completely and just release it in February.
Sure.
We might.
Nah. We'll get you. We'll hook you up.
Anyway, we got a movie. We've chosen it. It is called Paranormal Activity. I have not seen this movie, and I think both of you guys have seen this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this is kind of a big omission on my horror list because I like horror movies and I watch a lot of horror movies. So I know it's a little weird. I haven't seen this one, but I'm really looking forward to watching it. I think it's just a real breezy, like 80 minutes or something too, like something super short. Which
It is, but it's 80 long minutes because it's so scary.
yeah, I know Brian's was been traumatized by
Guys,
this
I don't
movie.
know
and we're
if I
gonna
can do it.
we're gonna dig into it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, thank you everybody for listening. It's been a great time as usual, and we will catch you on the flip.
See ya.
Later.